I grew up in Boise, Idaho, which was awesome. It's still the best place in the world to live, by the way. Been to London, sucked. New Zealand, pretty good. I first moved to Vegas and I lived amongst the criminals because I'm 43 and I grew up I grew up in hold up, watch this. You couldn't hear that. Haha. You couldn't hear me clear my throat. I was born in 1981, so I was 13 when Crossroads, Bone Thugs and Harmony Crossroads came out and changed my life. I wasn't so much into the Ice-T era or the NWA era. I was just past that. I just came online when Tupac came out, Nas and everything, and I thought that was going to be my life. And I didn't have much guidance that I accepted. That's good. That's a good one. I didn't take any guidance from anyone that I heard. I knew that I was going to move to LA and end up being like Snoop Dogg's like blunt roller or something. Like I didn't have high hopes for myself. I was hoping to be somewhere in that world because that was so different and so different from the whiteys in my area. So I moved there. Then, I was there for a year. I got in a lot of trouble. Nothing productive. I was around a bunch of bad things. Let's call it bad things. But one thing about it, though, I was never bored. Ever. Felt like I was always doing something that felt important, even though it was completely worthless. But I was never bored. And I came back. Oh, I tried to escape. to the Navy while I was out there, but then I went to San Diego, took the MEPS, took the ASVAB, passed all that stuff, and I had to get two what's it called, clearances. One was for my drug history, the other one was for my criminal history. My criminal history was like 100 trespassing tickets. Nothing, like I didn't rob anybody. So then I come back to Boise. I'm back with my friends, living with my mom. I'm 19, 20. And 6 months goes by and I could go join the Navy, pass my drug test, and then join. But by then I was like, fuck. I was like, screw that. I'm not going to do that. So I screwed that one up. I moved to North Carolina, where I was going to NASCAR school, because to be honest, I wanted to move to New Orleans. It was 2006. And I saved up to move to New Orleans. And then it didn't work. Katrina hit. And at the time I was listening, the reason why I wanted to move to New Orleans, I knew about 6th Street, Magnolia Street, Soulja Slim, Lil Wayne, and Juvenile. I listened to those CDs only for like a year straight. And so I was going to move there, but then Katrina hit. Thank God that happened, because I would have died. I would have 100% died. So I needed to move to the South. And the South was the place to go because that was the music I listened to. So I moved to North Carolina. The reason why I went there was for school. And it was NASCAR school. Well, guess what? I was in Mooresville, North Carolina. Not a lot of gang life down there, if I may. But I learned a different world. And I was there for about 6 months. Then I moved to Phoenix because North Carolina sucked. I was not going to be a race car driver. And I got to the point where I realized I was going to complete this school. I wasn't going to complete school ever. I've never completed a school. I was going to complete the school and be like a oil changer at Jiffy Lube. So screw that. I'm not going to do that. But I had to find a way to move somewhere else. Well, the way to move is to go to school somewhere. That's how I'm allowed to. Mommy would approve that. And so they had a NASCAR school, or they had a car school, Universal Technical Institute in Phoenix. I moved to Phoenix, Arizona, and immediately quit. I found a job at Choice Hotels, worked there. Everything was great. It was the first place where I was actually ever able to pay my bills. I lived there for 10 years and moved back to Boise to become a well driller. And I drilled water wells for a long time. And it was kind of the family business. But I have the range of white boy from nowhere, from living on Sierra Vista in Las Vegas. That's where I was at. Look it up. To North Carolina in NASCAR school, to techie industry, call center work as I was a call center guy. And then I moved back to Boise to become a well driller. I have a lot of range in my life. I'm sure everyone else does too. But I just want to let you know, I can understand a lot of different cultures. I've been around a lot of different places, and I know we are all the same. We just want a better life. And the way to get there is to understand that life is meant to be happy. And I just want to help someone else get there. I know we're all going through hard times. I know I'm going through hard times. I'm not rich. I am not rich. I am not even in the positive. Not even close. But this is my journey, and I'm going to document all of my pathways to walking into a better life. You know The Secret? Remember Oprah's The Secret? It's like you think it. Just think it, and it will become. Well, it's not true, but it kind of is. Because life is about creation. Life is about creating something. It's about doing something and experiencing something. I thought I had something more to say. But we are in the process of creation. And the way you consciously think about it is, first, it literally comes from nowhere. You think it. Everything that you see around here has come from a thought that has never been thought before by some person. Next is they talked about it. He said, hey, I'm going to create a phone. I'm looking at a phone. I have no creative thoughts, by the way. I'm going to create a phone. But it didn't just happen after that. Then they had to go out and do it. You actually go put in the work to get what you need to do. And this is the process that I am in. I wanted to talk about God in a way that's never been talked about before as an influencer type. I'm not an influencer. And I'm now speaking about it, and I've spoke about it for endless years. I've thought about it for endless years. Now I'm speaking about it, and I want to be about living a better life, knowing that we are more important. And every situation we're in, good or bad, is born from our creation to experience ourselves in a different way. And being the offsprings of God, we are able to harness that power. When I said before, God doesn't care about what you drive. He cares about what you are and how you are in relation to another event. If we could see tragedy or bad things that happen to ourselves as something we brought forth so we can be that person in that moment, we'll live a better life. We'll be happier. And that's my main goal. That's all that I want to do. Someone's on the street, they fall down. Who are you? They fall down. Who are you in relation to that moment? Are you a person that just walks by? And are you a person that cares and walks by? Are you a person that sees a person get bullied and you actually stand up for that person. If you want to be that person, a person has to be bullied in order for you to experience that. And we need to think about what we're going to do in that moment before we get there, because if not, we'll just be too stunned by the moment to not react. So if we can be who we're supposed to be now, we can be who we're supposed to be in the moment when something happens that you need to take action. I think that is my goal. That's what I want to, that's the message I want to put out here. Anyway, thank you.